How much of your talent and skill and craft as an actor is just who you are naturally? What the person that you were born, the characteristics that you have, as much as it is study and practice and rehearsal and hard work? How much of it's just you were born with certain something, luminescence, certain something?
So you want me to define?
Yeah. I mean, you know, it just seems that you have something that's beyond craft, too. I mean, that you brought to the...
Oh, well, your experience, and it's so, you know, when I involve myself in a movie, sometimes I know without knowing.
Yeah.
I know because it's my intuition. So I work mostly with my intuition, and it comes out of probably childhood but I don't have a specific, you know, way of working. It depends on the movie, and it changes all the time. Like, I have to doubt myself with the director sometimes. Kieslowski would do only one take, rehearse like 4 or 5 times, and then do just one take. And I was used to doing another film with a young director called Léos Carax, which was Les Amants du Pont-Neuf. We did about 40 takes each time, sometimes more than 40 takes. So it was the reverse for me, and I felt very uncomfortable to start with. I asked Kieslowski, it's impossible. You know, you have to allow me to do another take, at least 2 takes, so I can make a mistake. And I was so furious sometimes because when the camera was, you know, didn't work, we would do another take because of the camera or because of sound or because of whatever, light or whatever. And I said, well, let's say that I'm a machine and it doesn't work, and technically I had a problem. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
And so the first one of shooting, you know, he let me have my second take most of the time. But it was a fight each time, which is very tiring, you know, for me. And so the second month, I was so exhausted by it. I said, well, okay, it's your film, 1 take, it's your problem, it's not mine.
So what did he say? Fine?
He said fine, you know, because he said, you know, it's nonsense to do another take when you can do only 1 take, which is just fine. Yeah. Also, he was used to, you know, in Poland, he was used to do shooting just fast. 1 take because it's no money.
No film.
No film,
right.
no nothing. You just have, you know, as condensed as possible.
The director was Léos Carax, am I saying that right?
Mm-hmm.
Of the Pont-Neuf?
Yes.
Yeah, am I saying that?
Les Amants du Pont-Neuf.
Yes. It took him 3 years to make that film because of financing and everything else. You did nothing else during that 3 years.
It's true.
Out of a commitment to him and to the film.
Right.
That says something about dedication and loyalty and...
Well, I think when you engage yourself, you know, you have to do it.
And the intensity of all that impacted on the relationship.
Yes and no. You know, it's funny because at the same time, you know, my tears are coming back to me because it was a painful experience in a way. But at the same time, because, you know, we didn't have money.
Yeah. It's okay.
And, but I learned a lot. I learned so much about it.
Yeah. Well, and that's the best experience, though, in a sense. It's painful, but if 2 people struggling to do something together,
yeah,
you know, you pay a price. There's a toll.
Well, that was positive at the end because first of all, we really did it, you know, against big waves and against a lot of, you know, bad thoughts and things coming out, you know, outside. But
was it crushing for you that it didn't do as well as it might have?
Well, you know, you shouldn't get too much, as an actor, I think, too much involved into the success of the film, you know? Yeah. Sometimes it works, and each time I've been trying my best, so, you know, it has nothing to do with the result of whether it's going to work or not, because it's another world for me. When I'm in the front of camera, I'm not thinking about whether it's going to work or not. You're doing your best. You're trying
living the part.
Yeah, you're trying to do the best film. So if you think of the result while you're making it, I think it's... Imagine a painter trying to put the right color to please the person who's going to buy it.
Please yourself.
You have to commit yourself and to be as close as possible, as the others, you know.
If you look at the parts you've played, including Damage, including Unbearable, including Blue, including
Mara,
English Patient, including...
Of Mike Figgis.
Yes, Mike Figgis film.
Wuthering Heights.
Wuthering Heights, with Rafe as well.
Yes,
Is there any common denominator in terms of the kinds of characters you play?
Me?
Yes. That you're playing them.
Oh.
I mean, if I looked at all of them in a row, would I see... Do you see anything?
I think there's a connection between the Unbearable, Mara, and the English Patient.
Which is?
Which is more open, in a
More
way.
open.
Yeah.
Darker or lighter?
Lighter.
Lighter.
Even, you know, Mara, there's sad moments, and, you know, I mean, it's not only sad because it doesn't mean anything, but it's just fragile, vulnerable moments, you know, that you go through. And still, you know, in the English Patient, but there's some kind of lightness coming out of it. Yeah. And sometimes the more you're fragile, the more you're strong. And that would be the thing, you know, strength and doubts at the same time. I think we need earthquakes in life, otherwise we're all the same.
To shake us up.
To move on, to open up, to grow, to be more human. Because we, you know, we're too educated sometimes, I think.
And we get too caught up in our fixed ways.
And believing in ourselves so much, especially in our business, you know.
When was the last earthquake in your life?
Los Angeles. But lately, I have to say, I was involved in a movie, and I didn't get along with the director, and I was fired.
Claude Berry.
Last year, and it was a real earthquake for me. But I think I'm going to thank him one day. Even, you know, I got so... I didn't understand when that happened, you know, and I think he was a coward because he didn't tell me in front, you know, so he asked somebody else to tell me, so that was a real shake for me.
Oh, God,
that's the way it is, you know, but I think, you know...
He didn't have the guts to come and tell you that he didn't want you?
Well, no, I think that some people, you know, they can't handle the situation, and that was it, you know, I was hurt when that happened, but at the same time I understand, because some people can and some people can't, and maybe, you know, we'll talk to one another, you know, one day about it, but it was a real shock, because I was coming out of the English Patient, was open like this, wanting to do the best as I could, and actually I couldn't on this movie. So
why not? Do you know why you couldn't? Because of him or because of something else?
I don't want to accuse anybody, but I think there's some, you know, spirits that can't meet. You'd better get away when you can, you know, when you can't have a relationship.
Oil and water. The expression oil and water, they don't mix.
Well, the source, you know, you have to begin with the same source and the same purpose. If you don't have the same purpose, then you get in trouble.
It was painful at the time because rejected, you felt?
Because I was so involved in the movie. I wanted to tell the story. Lucie Aubrac was a real character, you know, the resistance during the war in France, and I love her, and we're still friends, and, you know, have a wonderful relationships, and I wanted to make this movie for her. It wasn't for another purpose, and I think Claude wanted to make another movie, in a way.
But you're strong. My sense of you is that on the set and in your relationship with directors.
I'm myself. I don't think I'm strong or weak. I'm just myself, and it means to react as you are and not trying to hide or to please somebody. You know, it's upfront, and that's why Anthony and we got along so well, because it was so obvious. You know, it's not cheating around and trying to have the cover. You say that?
Yes.
You know, you try to pull it. You know, it wasn't about that. It was about being oneself and be free on the screen, on the screening.
And that for the performance is so much better.
Oh yes, because then people can read through you like a book. You know, you become a book. You know, people can imagine or do some work with you, not only watch and everything's done. You know, fires, boom, 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 and it's done. It's over. It's about what's inside of someone and what's going on.
In the end, this might have been a valuable experience for you. Now, you could look back and say, that was an earthquake in my life that was good for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
The Claude Berry?
Yeah, the Claude Berry, because it taught you something.
Oh, yes. You know, I'm not against difficulties. I think it's the best thing ever.
Well, you in fact say in things that I've read that you have said that it's important that it not be sugar-coated and sort of warm and cuddly all the time, because if you live a life like that, then there is no variety to your life, and there's no experience, and it's not deep, and it's not interesting, right?
Oh, yes, I think that actors, sometimes there are so many people around them, and they're saying, oh, you're so good,
Yeah,
oh, you blah, 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 and then there's a moment you like sugar. There's no taste anymore, and you feel, I mean, it's just work. And if the consequences of it, you know, is sometimes surprising, like success or money or, you know, meeting people you admire so much, you know, then you never thought you could, you know, meet them one day, and it's great, and that's wonderful, but then you have to give back in a way, you know, because it's not about yourself acting, and any kind of work, I think, it's to give oneself, to serve what you have to do, and, I mean, like serving your character for a film, or serving your director, serving whoever, you know.
Are you happiest when you're in front of a camera? Because you're someone else?
It's not because of the camera, it's because of the people around the camera. That's why when you're choosing a film and you're choosing to work with the director, I think it's and the actors, of course, and of course the whole crew, it's so important.
I didn't mean so much because you're in front of a camera, therefore you're being recorded, but more in a sense you're doing what you love to do. And in a sense, that's who you are.
Find a note. Dustin Hoffman was saying that on, you know, on that night, the Golden Globes night, and to find the note is the most important thing.
Find the note.
Find the note, you know, like Igor Stravinsky was trying to find the note. It's not about premiere, it's not about the outside thing, you know, or the consequence of it. It's the real work, which, you know, that's why I still want to be an actress, you know.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
It's a real pleasure to have you here. Good luck.
Thanks.
My thanks to Juliette Binoche.